the damp, dimly lit alleyway, I struggled to keep my silk stockings from snagging on the rusty bars. The air was heavy with coal smoke and despair. My fan Amelia Wimpole would have disapproved of this expedition, but she's indisposed at present. I adjusted my gloves, feeling the stiff bristles of 1,000 tiny gears beneath the thin leather. It was an unsettling sensation, like walking on the gravestones in Highgate Cemetery, where we had shared our darkest secrets and first kisses. Now, Amelia's absence left me with nothing but the hiss of steam and the whispers from these walls. I pushed aside the tattered curtains of a shopfront, revealing the faded sign Curios and Antiques in an archaic font. A small bell above the door let out a faint clang as I entered. The air inside was heavy with secrets, the stench of burnt sugar and copper. Behind the counter, a peculiar individual with sunken eyes and papery skin regarded me. His gaze made my skin crawl. "I require some assistance," I said, trying to hide the tremor in my voice. "A certain item. A relic from the Great Exhibition?" The shopkeeper's fingers drummed an unsettling rhythm on the counter as he leaned back in his creaky chair. "Ah, yes. The Crystal of Clarity. A most unsettling artifact." His lips twisted into a grotesque smile. "Tell me, Miss Blackwood, what do you plan to use this relic for?" My eyes locked onto his, and I felt an unspoken understanding. He knew my business, and I was not supposed to know it. My own dark desires whispered in the steam-filled air that night. I hesitated, my fan's words echoing in my mind. "Don't trifle with forces beyond your understanding, Amelia." But what if it was already too late? The bell above the door creaked as I stepped closer to the shopkeeper. "I wish to study its properties," I said, attempting nonchalance. "For research purposes." The shopkeeper's grin grew wider, his eyes taking on an unnatural sheen. "Research, you say?" "Ah, yes. The secrets within those walls will be most enlightening." His bony fingers danced across the counter as he spoke. "Be warned, Miss Blackwood," he hissed, his breath like a rusty gate. "Whatever lies beyond that door is not for the faint of heart. This crystal, it feeds on the screams of the innocent." I forced a smile, but my mind reeled with the implications. The Crystal of Clarity was said to amplify one's thoughts, grant unparalleled insight into human nature, and exact a terrible price in return. What secrets had Amelia uncovered before her disappearance? Was she searching for this relic? The shopkeeper chuckled, sending shivers down my spine. "Payment will be arranged." He vanished into the shadows, leaving me to wonder what horrors awaited within those walls. As I waited, I noticed a peculiar automaton in the corner, its brass limbs eerily still, yet seeming to watch me with cold, calculating eyes. A faint hum emanated from its gearwork core, like a whispered incantation. "Ah, yes. The Crystal of Clarity." He reappeared, holding a small, ornate box adorned with tiny cogs and cryptic symbols. "This contains the key to unlocking its true power." The automaton's gaze seemed to intensify, as if warning me away from this dark artifact. I shook my head, dismissing the sensation. I reached for the box, hesitating when a faint echo of Amelia's laughter echoed through the alleyway, carried on the coal-scented breeze. The whispers in the walls grew louder, more urgent. Secrets lurked within those hidden rooms, and forgotten libraries, screaming to be free. "Tell me," I asked, trying to keep my voice steady, "how much does it cost?" The shopkeeper's grin returned, his eyes now reflecting an unholy glow. "A small fee, one that will change your life forever." He winked, revealing pointed teeth stained with rust-red lipstick. "Your innocence is all the payment required." As I handed over a small fortune in cash and goods, the automaton stirred, its gaze piercing my very soul. I emerged from the shop, my silk stockings now torn and damp. The fog rolled in like a living entity, shrouding the city in an impenetrable darkness. I lit a lucifer match to guide me through the winding streets, the flickering flame casting eerie shadows on the buildings. As I walked, the whispers from the alleyway's walls lingered within my mind, echoing with every step. Amelia's laughter still lingered in my ears, taunting me. Her disappearance was no coincidence. She'd been searching for this relic. The crystal of clarity, a tool meant to amplify one's thoughts, now seemed like a curse. I navigated the treacherous streets, the fog growing thicker with every step. I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was being watched, those automaton eyes still burning in my mind. Every gas lamp casting long shadows made me jump, as if the very darkness itself conspired against me. As I approached our family estate, a chill coursed through my veins. The fog-shrouded facade loomed before me, like a specter of doom. Candles flickered within the manor windows, an eerie glow that seemed to mock my unease. No one should be awake at this hour. Yet, I sensed unseen eyes upon me. I pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside, trying not to think about Amelia's cryptic letters or the whispered rumors of cursed artifacts beneath these stones. My heart raced with every creak of the wooden floorboards, as if my own guilt echoed through the halls. The gas lamps within flickered wildly, casting an otherworldly glow. Shadows danced upon the walls like macabre puppets performing a morbid ballet. I forced myself up the grand staircase, my corseted waist tightening with every step. In the dim light of Amelia's abandoned laboratory, I discovered her unfinished notes. Flickering candles cast eerie shadows on the makeshift shelves, where contraptions and scraps of brass wire lay scattered. The once precise notes now seemed like ravings of a madwoman, filled with cryptic warnings and sketches of abominable creations. The air thickened as I approached her makeshift workbench. Amelia's half-finished project loomed before me. An automaton, its limbs twisted into impossible configurations, as if crafted by some deranged genius. A small, ornate box in the center seemed to hum with a life of its own. The whispers from the alleyway receded, replaced by an unsettling sense of familiarity. This abomination was no stranger to our estate's secrets. A faint tremble spread through my fingers as I lifted the lid on the humming box. Within lay a note in Amelia's script. "Emilia, if you find this, I've uncovered the source of those whispers. The crystal is real. Be cautious, for the walls remember everything." My thoughts reeled as I read and reread the words, trying to reconcile my sister's research with the monstrous automaton before me. What secrets had she unearthed? Were these whispers a warning or an invitation? I spun around, the candelabras casting grotesque silhouettes upon the walls. The flickering light made it seem as though Amelia's creation was watching me, its twisted limbs grasping for life. The wind outside grew more turbulent, threatening to extinguish the candles. Shadows seemed to writhe on the walls like living serpents. I turned my back on the automaton and Amelia's notes, yet couldn't shake off the feeling that we were no longer alone in this cursed estate. The whispers had grown louder. The shadows now seemed alive. I retreated from the laboratory, leaving the abomination to its dark vigil. My heart pounded as I descended into the darkness, where fog-shrouded trees creaked ominously, their branches like skeletal fingers grasping for me. My fan, Amelia's final gift, felt like a cold, dead weight in my hand. The estate's secrets had always been bound by blood oaths and family honor. Now it seemed I'd inherited the curse of knowledge. As I vanished into the fog, the darkness closing in around me, I couldn't help but wonder, which secrets would Amelia's disappearance reveal? And what horrors lurked beyond those walls, waiting to claim us all. I navigated the treacherous staircases and cobweb-shrouded halls, my corseted waist tightening with every step. Amelia's disappearance had left me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Yet the whispers within those walls would not cease their maddening chant. In the dimly lit library, I discovered an old, leather-bound tome, bound in what appeared to be human skin. As I opened it, a puff of dust and decay wafted out, carrying secrets with the morbid stench. The whispered warnings and curses seemed to seep from the pages like an eldritch curse. A faint humming noise emanated from the book's margins, where cryptic symbols now danced across the parchment. I felt the automaton's twisted limbs watching me as I read on, my fan forgotten in the darkness. As a wimpole, we'd always been bound to this estate by blood and duty. Inheritance was a cruel joke. It seemed that our ancestors had sealed their own fate with dark pacts and forbidden knowledge. I slammed the tome shut, the whispers growing louder, more urgent. The room's shadows appeared to coalesce into twisted silhouettes, mocking me. Fear clawed at my mind like a mad creature. What secrets had Amelia unearthed? What darkness lurked within those walls? In the silence, I detected an unsettling rhythm emanating from outside. The soft clanking of cogs and hissing steam. I approached the manor's central staircase, where ancient portraits seemed to leer with malevolent intent. The air grew heavier as I reached the landing. A chill wind buffeted me, extinguishing some candles, plunging us into an eerie twilight. Amidst the flickering flames, I spotted it. A hidden door, camouflaged to resemble the estate's stone walls. Amelia's cryptic notes hinted at this very door existing, concealed behind a tapestry of forgotten ancestors. A small key lay on a dusty plate atop the mantel. I pocketed the key and retreated from the landing, senses reeling from the secrets uncovered so far. Whispers still lingered in my mind like a dying echo. Welcome back, Miss Blackwood." A low, raspy voice echoed up the stairs as I spun around, my fan forgotten on the landing. Before me stood our valet, Jenkins, his once ornate livery now tarnished, his eyes sunken with an unsettling intensity. He'd been Amelia's closest confidant. Perhaps he held the key to her disappearance. "Jenkins, what's the meaning of this?" I gestured to the hidden door. "You should not have come here," Jenkins whispered, his voice like a rusty gate in the darkness. "You shouldn't have meddled in things beyond your station." His words dripped with an unspoken warning. "Leave now, while you still can." In that instant, a new reality crystallized. I was trapped. "Listen well, Jenkins," I whispered back, forcing my voice to remain steady. "Tell me what secrets Amelia uncovered. Share the truth behind her disappearance." Jenkins' eyes burned with an unnatural light as he descended the stairs, his movements eerily silent on the creaking steps. The manor's dark history seeped into the air like a miasma of despair. "Ah, yes. Your sister had delved too deep," Jenkins hissed, his words dripping with malevolent glee. My heart pounded in my chest like an imprisoned automaton. What secrets did she uncover? I implored. Jenkins' gaze froze on the landing, as if some hidden presence dictated his actions. Come and see." His words were a siren's call to madness. I followed Jenkins down into darkness and madness. Jenkins led me through musty corridors, the air thick with secrets and dust. Shadows crept across walls adorned with cobweb-covered tapestries, their designs now resembling twisted serpents devouring themselves. My fan rustled in my hand as we reached a door concealed behind a tattered portrait of our deceased patriarch, his eyes seeming to watch me like a mourner's vigil. Jenkins produced a small key and inserted it into the lock with an unsettling precision. As the door creaked open, a dim glow spilled out, candles flickering within a hidden laboratory. My heart screamed at the discovery. Amelia had been working on a project here, but what horrors lay within? The room's walls seemed to writhe like a living entity, as if these very stones remembered our family's dark legacy. "Be cautious, Miss Blackwood," Jenkins whispered, his eyes aglow with an otherworldly energy. "Your sister's work has consequences." Consequences? I'd be damned before confessing my own guilt. Amelia's research had brought forth something unnatural, a creation forged from the darkness within these walls. My gaze fell upon the automaton, its twisted limbs seemingly frozen in perpetual motion. The crystal of clarity lay on an adjacent pedestal, pulsating with a sickly glow. Steam hissed and spat as I approached, warning me away from this accursed relic. A faint image appeared before me. Amelia, her eyes sunken, her porcelain complexion now bearing the marks of coal dust and desperation. Her lips parted in a frozen scream. "Jenkins, what have you done?" The automaton's gearwork core seemed to reverberate with dark power as I spoke. He cackled like a madman, his eyes burning with an unearthly intensity. "You should not have come here, Miss Blackwood." His words were laced with malevolent intent. The room's shadows appeared to coalesce into twisted silhouettes, those of our ancestors, their faces frozen in perpetual screams. "Jenkins, stop this charade," I whispered, my fan forgotten within the fog-shrouded darkness. "Tell me the truth behind Amelia's disappearance." His eyes seemed to bore into mine, as if I'd stumbled upon a hidden threshold, beyond which lay an abyss of horrors. "Secrets?" He chuckled, the sound like rusted hinges creaking in the night wind. "I merely retrieved what was rightfully yours. Your sister had grown too reckless." My grip on my fan tightened. The automaton's eyes watched me with cold precision. This manor had witnessed countless atrocities, and now I'd inherited them all. Amidst the hissing steam, a maddening whisper echoed through the laboratory. "You should not have come here." I realized that I was trapped in this nightmare of secrets and ancient pacts. The darkness outside seemed to seep into our forgotten laboratory, an oily taint spreading from the fog-shrouded walls. As the shadows twisted around me, a single phrase echoed through my mind. "Your sister's creation shall not rest." The automaton's gaze remained fixed on me, its cold calculation unnerving. I'd traversed the darkness of this estate. Now, I had stumbled into a labyrinth of secrets. Jenkins' madness-inducing grin seemed to fuel the room's morbid energy, which coalesced into twisted silhouettes upon the walls. Those of our ancestors, their faces frozen in perpetual screams. I edged closer to the automaton, my fan forgotten on the laboratory table. The air was heavy with secrets and corruption. Jenkins' malevolent intent grew palpable as he drew nearer, his eyes burning with an unnatural light. "Your sister's creation," he began, his voice like a rusty gate, "has awakened something ancient. A darkness that seeps from those walls, whispering secrets only the damned might comprehend." As I approached the pedestal where the crystal of clarity rested, an unearthly silence enveloped us. The hissing steam and creaking wooden floorboards momentarily ceased their macabre serenade. I hesitated before the pedestal, Amelia's notes on my mind. The automaton's gaze pierced me, its mechanical heart pounding in syncopated rhythm with the darkness outside. "Jenkins, tell me, what happened to my sister?" I demanded, the crystal's pulsing glow casting an unholy light upon the walls. His grin twisted into a grotesque smile. "Miss Blackwood, you'd be wise to remember her warnings." Amidst the oppressive silence, my fan rustled in protest as I opened the pedestal box containing the crystal of clarity. My heart thrummed within its prison of silk and steel, for I knew I had set events in motion. As if summoned by my touch, darkness coalesced around me, twisted shadows that seemed to writhe like a living thing. Steam hissed with increased ferocity. Gears whirred as the automaton's core pulsed with dark power. Secrets swirled within the room, like a maelstrom of madness and despair. I held the crystal aloft, its pulsing light illuminating the twisted silhouettes on the walls. In that moment, I felt Amelia's presence. A cold breeze caressed my neck as if her spirit whispered dire warnings. "Jenkins, what secrets hide in those walls?" I whispered, my fan trembling within my hand. A low, sepulchral laughter echoed through the room. The very darkness outside seemed to vibrate with malevolent energy. Those twisted silhouettes began to shift, their faces contorting into grotesque grins, a morbid dance macabre. "Ah, the secrets," Jenkins' voice whispered in my ear, his breath reeking of decay and corruption. "I'll reveal them when the time is right." The darkness coalesced around me like an abyssal shroud, as if I'd crossed some unseen threshold. My heart thundered within its silk prison, warning me that secrets and horrors lurked beyond this doorway. "Time?" I hissed, my fan's tines quivering in protest. Jenkins' grin twisted into a ghastly rictus. "When the darkness within the walls is ready to consume." His words dripped with an unholy conviction. In the face of madness, I had stumbled upon a labyrinthine nightmare, and Amelia's secrets waited like a vengeful spirit, guarding its dark revelation. Steam hissed as Jenkins turned away, his livery now seeming tattered, threadbare, and utterly damned. "Your sister's gone, Miss Blackwood. Her disappearance will be the least of your troubles." As he vanished into the darkness, I clutched the crystal aloft, a beacon against the horrors that lurked in these twisted corridors. The room began to darken, as if the very shadows conspired against me. In this estate's heart, I'd unearthed secrets bound by dark oaths and forbidden knowledge. Fear clawed at my sanity like a mad creature within my chest. And then, nothing remained but silence, an oppressive quiet that threatened to consume all light.